Well, good morning to you all. Good morning. It's Monday, 27th of May 2024. It's 20 past 7 in the morning. I've already been out here and done just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Pulled some weeds, thrown some water on a few things. And yeah, I've checked the weather forecast. It's not great, but it's okay. So we're thinking about what we need to do today. I think it's going to involve a certain amount of standing on scaffolding and doing some works. Yeah, what is today? Well, it's Monday. It is the optional memorial of Saint Augustine of Canterbury. How about that? Wonder how many of you knew that. Saint Augustine is thought to have died on the 26th of May in the year 604. That's a little while ago, isn't it? It's amazing how time flies. He sometimes is referred to as the apostle to the English. He's the man largely responsible for converting the English to Christianity. There are a few that would perhaps suggest that his legacy hasn't quite made it to 2024. There are others who will say what a wonderful legacy he did leave. But anyway, what had I better do? I'd better put the kettle on, I suppose. It's always good, isn't it? You know, I was looking at this chunk of land here that, you know, I have to mow it and cut it and keep it tidy. And I thought, you know what? I could build a golf course, couldn't I? What do you reckon? Any of you play golf? It's one of the more pointless games, I think. You know, if you really want to put that little white ball in a hole in the ground, why don't you just pick it up and put it in the hole, instead of all that messing about with bats and shouting for and things like that. But yeah, golf course, maybe. Oh, what shall we do? I'm quite pleased the way that piece has come up. Another one to do there. I have been making some progress on the next one. And I've been breaking up pallets, and I really need to stack me firewood. Yes, really need to do that. But with yesterday's acquisitions, we have some heavy engineering work to do. We're getting ready to change some track work. So the Orient Express has been shoved into a siding. The crane is ready. This is actually, all boys should have one of these because this is great fun. He said, look at that, it winds up and it winds down. And there's another little jobby thing for working the hook up and down, and it swivels, of course. It does. And it's got jacks to stow. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, we're going to use that to move some track panels around. I might just do it by hand, but, you know, we'll pretend, shall we? We're going to use the crane to get these track panels set where they need to be. Now, if we're going to have lots of point work, I think we really need to work out how all of these point levers work and what they do. Now, I know that there are those of you that think that that's the only thing I should be doing today, is playing with toy trains. Well, sorry peeps, I have got proper work that I need to be doing. The job that I want to get done today, while I've got the weather for it, apart from I've got me washing, oh, should have moved me steps. See, planning ahead is always a good thing. And I've got to get an early start before the health and safety guy gets here, because he might say, no, he might say, right, this is the job that I want to get done today. I want to get that filled in with some show so that can set, so that then I can put some ragrayage on there. I've got the weather for this today, so that really needs to be my priority on my nice new scaffolding. Well, where are we? There we are. That's that job knocked off. Next thing for that job is to let it go off this afternoon. We'll cover that over with some ragrayage. Yeah, pleased about that. Good. Yeah, that's good. The weather forecasting cats say that I can leave the washing on the washing line while I have lunch. We're rushing rapidly towards lunchtime. Not sure I've achieved that much. A little bit of stonework and a little bit of work on scaffolding. Échafaudage. Now, this isn't essential work. You know, I can use it rusty like that. But you know what? While I was doing this, I was thinking, before I risk life and limb climbing on this scaffolding, I probably should have a look at all of the welds and make sure that nothing's going to give way and such likes. I think it's sensible to give it a tart up before we get too carried away with relying on it. You know, it is what it is. It's been used for better than 50 years on and off for various jobs. You can see that whoever used this has been up somewhere rendering, dropping render all over the place. So yeah, maybe not essential, but I just feel a need to just get in and look at all of these welds, as I say, before I risk my life on it too much. And of course I know what you all want me to do is play trains. Well, okay then. The Orient Express. Oh, crashing as it goes hurtling round the bend. Disaster. Good job I've got a crane, isn't it? This is one of the items I was given yesterday. Now, all I've done is I've thrown a spare bogey in it. So currently it doesn't have any power of its own, but apart from being pushed round corners too fast when it comes off, it's quite a good looking sort of thing. And that big diesel seems quite happy pushing it while pulling a train, except too fast round corners. Well, there we are. Possibly better, isn't it? This is one of yesterday's acquisitions. And that little near disaster with things coming off the track and nearly falling to the ground, that is a good lead into what I think has happened to this at some time in its life. This is a Juef made locomotive, and more than a few people will say, oh, you know, Juef, cheap and nasty, not as good as proper Ormby Asho. Maybe it isn't. Maybe they are made more cheaply. But at the end of the day, if you're a business making toys for children, you know, your market is to make this cheap enough that someone buys it to give to their son for Christmas, or their daughter, or their father-in-law, who knows? And in the knowledge that it's going to be run a bit for a while, and then it's going to be put away and ignored. So when you get into quality comments, you've got to remember that this wasn't made for actually working on the real railway for 50 years. You know, it is what it is. It's a toy. Now, someone has used hot glue to try and patch this thing together. And I was looking at it thinking, why? Well, underneath there is a screw that allows me to take the body off. And I was looking at this, and it's in desperate need of sticking back together and putting in all the right places how it should be. And why would a lightweight plastic toy manage to self-destruct so effectively? Well, of course, this is the motorised bogie, the motorised tender that pushes the locomotive and pulls the train. And you can see the little motor. Well, to give it traction, it has got this huge lump of lead in it, without which the motor wouldn't stand a chance of pulling the train around. So if you put a big lump of lead in a lightweight plastic body and then drop it, well, things are going to break. And the tender chassis has also taken some damage. But we have good news with this tender. The tender works, and as you can see, it's having no trouble pulling that long train. So I will be doing some clever stuff with glue and putting this how it should putting it better than it is. I don't know about how it should be. And I was thinking about it. I think this engine is going to end up in the red livery of the Vliegenvangers and Malta Railway. I think. I don't actually like that brown. It's sort of, well, it's brown.